welcome to the prep rally. Today we have such a good menu for you. First of all, we've changed the orientation to horizontal rather than vertical. So let me know what you guys think about this. I think it's better for YouTube purposes. Obviously the vertical is better for Instagram. But I think this is much better since most of you guys are viewing it here on YouTube. Anyways, we are gonna get started with meal prep number 22. So this is week 22. Let me show you guys what we're making. So good, or faux good, should I say. Cheesy. So check it out. We're doing these Moroccan chicken sandwiches with peppers and onions, loaded Pho Bowls, which you guys are going to die over. I am so excited to have them for lunch because I can't wait. These loaded, amazing bowls with tahini sauce, so good, and these little mini quiches, which is delicious. And usually the Thursday items, it's great to add like a salad to it as well. So you can always add anything else into it. If you have some frozen peas, I always keep peas on hand at a mommy. It's a great, easy thing to add to any of these dinners because they're quick and easy, and it helps round out the meal. So never be afraid to add on to these menus or modify any way needed. Okay, so we're gonna bang this out. I have my oven preheated, 425 degrees. We're gonna get going in the order of the PDF. You guys know the drill. Obviously the first thing that takes the most amount of time is the pho, so we're gonna get started there. And if you're unfamiliar and you're just stumbling upon this video, you can head to prepandrally.com, prepandrally.com. We prep on Sunday, rally through the week together. It's a family meal prep system. Save time, save money, save sanity. I updated my little board up there, which you can't even see because my head's blocking. But that is really what we're trying to do, and it makes the week so much easier and helps you save money and tons of time and enjoyable, amazing food all week long. Okay, so we're just going to take our large pot here. Oh, don't you hate when your burner doesn't work? Oh, that's why. Make sure your little cap thingy is on the burner. There she is. All right. Add your oil into your pot, and we're just going to follow along with this PDF. I do the whole thing with you guys so we all feel like we are completely in this together, okay? This is the best kind of soup because you don't have to do any sauteing or anything like that. You are literally just seasoning this amazing broth. Oh, I just realized I'm like so used to putting oil in a pan to saute. I just realized we didn't need to do that. Cool, don't listen to me. Who am I? So you don't need to put oil in your pan, FYI. But if you did, that's totally fine. Okay, get your stock into the pot. If you wanted to toast your spices, that's a really great thing to do. It kind of brings out all those flavors. It helps release some of those essential oils so that it helps perfume the soup even more and even quicker. So you could do that as well, but that's completely optional. So all we're doing here, we're just putting everything into the pot. We're just gonna like simmer it for 30 minutes. It's gonna become so fragrant, so delicious. And if you're a little bit nervous about like the cardamom and fennel seeds, don't be scared because we were obsessed with it and you don't taste it so strong. If you're using ground, what's it called, spices, you don't want to use as much. So go easy on it if you're using ground. I would just, do like a little sprinkle. You could always add more if you like it, but the beauty of adding the full seeds here is that you remove them. So it's just perfuming it without actually eating it. Okay, so I have my fennel that I just threw in there, and now we're going to add peppercorns. You don't have to sit there measuring out 15, like just throw some in. And if you don't have like a strainer or like a mesh sieve, then I would take all these little seeds and put them in like a cheesecloth or something. But ideally, if you have something like this, these are great. You should totally own one of these. They're great for rinsing out grains. I strain pastas in this. You could just scoop it right in there. It's really the greatest thing in the world. Fish out anything you need. So this is a great kitchen tool to have, and that is what I use to scoop out all of these spices, and we're done. Okay, so we have that in there. We have our cinnamon stick. Again, it's less intense than having ground cinnamon. It's just perfuming it. So that comes out at the end. Ginger, What do I say here? I say a 1-inch piece of ginger. Mine, you guys know I like to freeze my ginger. So I've been letting it kind of defrost. It's like pretty mushy if you let it sit out, but for a soup, it's perfect. Normally I chop it up when it's, you know what, actually? All you have to do is just kind of like bruise it. Because we're going to be taking all this stuff out anyways, you don't even have to peel it. So just take all of that and throw it right in. Just make sure you have yours rinsed off. Save a little bit for the chicken at the end, okay? Ginger is in there. Oh my goodness, smelling so good. And we have some garlic, which we're also going to, I'm just gonna leave the peels on and I'm just gonna throw it in there. This one I'll take, well, yeah. You could leave some of the peels on if you want to, because again, it's all coming out, so don't worry. And it helps make it even more delicious broth when you use those peels. Okay, let me grab a napkin, a towel. You guys always know I like to have a towel next to me. I just completely forgot about it today. Guys, we're losing it. It's been a busy week. I did a KTLA segment yesterday, and I have another one on Friday, tomorrow. And I've had like charity events all week. It's been a week. It's been a week, my friends, but a fun week, but a hectic week. So meal prep, again, saves the day. So once you get it in, it's the best feeling ever. All right, cardamom. You can use whole cardamom pods. I have cardamom like seeds, like there's like the little guys that come inside the pod. Just gonna throw those in and strain it all out. You don't have to sit there, measure them. Just throw these yummy spices in here. It's gonna perfume the whole thing. So, so good. Let's get our soy sauce. All right, get your soy sauce in there. And for all the exact recipes and measurements and everything at theprepandrally.com, you can find it all there. Okay, this is what's gonna give it kind of like that Asian-y flavor. And some maple syrup. This is optional. You don't need the maple syrup. A little touch of sweetness goes a long way here, and it makes it really, really good and decadent. So I recommend it. You want a cup of water. So let me get this little cup over here. Grab your cup of water. Okay. Just to make it go a little further. And our chicken. So I'm just using one. The recipe I tell you to use 4. Totally up to you how much chicken you want in your soup. I just had 1 today, and that is all I need for today. So get your chicken in there, and what's gonna happen, it's gonna simmer. It's gonna smell so good. It's gonna cook for about 30 minutes, and then you're gonna pull the chicken out, you're gonna shred it, and then put the chicken back in there. Let the whole thing cool, and then store it in your fridge. And right before you serve it is when you make the rice noodles and everything like that. Season with some salt, and you could further season it later on once you actually taste it, okay? So let that do its thing. I'm gonna like halfway cover it, let it come to a boil, and then lower it to a simmer, and then it'll cook for about 30 minutes, okay? Are we good? Is everyone good here? We're good? Beautiful, let's go. Okay, next up, following along your PDF. Again, everything is listed in the right order. So be sure you're following this order because it really helps you get through this prep easily. Do your pre-prep where you section out things in the counter so that you can get through it all really quickly, okay? Sweet potatoes, you can always modify. As you guys know, I'm all about modifying, and I would never want you guys going to 50 different grocery stores to source one item. If you're having trouble finding an ingredient, just DM me or reach out on the private Facebook group and just say, hey, I can't find soy sauce. What can I use instead? And 15 people will jump in and say, oh, I've used this, or I will use that. And then I'll say, oh, you could totally use this as well. So make sure you are not driving yourself crazy trying to find every single ingredient. It's totally fine if not. And that's the whole point here. It's showing you how to be flexible in the kitchen and use what you have, okay? So I have sweet potatoes here. You can use squash. You could use really anything. A root vegetable is preferred, but you don't have to. It just makes it fun. So these are Japanese sweet potatoes, which are my favorite. They're so good. They're so, so good. So I'm just like cutting off a little tip. And then instead of cutting them like this in a circle, I'm cutting a little bit on a bias. So like just angling my knife a little bit, trying to get these as even as possible so they cook evenly, and putting them all right onto my extra large sheet pan, which you guys know I love. It's linked on my, I don't think it's on my website. I think I have to add it there. But on my Instagram at Prep and Rally, You'll see a shop section there, and there is my extra large USA pan, which is this guy here. And you can't even see what I'm doing over there, I just realized. It's different going wide. But here, you guys couldn't even see that. Sorry, my friends. So here are the Japanese sweet potatoes. So I'm just cutting them all on a bias and then put them right on your baking sheet. Okay, these extra large baking sheets are the best because instead of having to dirty up two, I dirty up one extra large one. And then it's one less thing to have to wash. Plus, it's also great for space in your oven because usually the racks are much bigger than a standard size sheet pan. So if you have an extra large sheet pan, instead of having to take up two different racks or two different pans of vegetables, get it all on one rack, so you're maximizing. So if you are in college or if you are in an apartment or if you're like me and now have one oven, it's for you, girlfriend, okay? So keep cutting those sweet potatoes. You see what I'm doing? Yes, okay, good. You could see me cutting at least. I didn't even realize, you guys can't even see my counter. My goodness. Who thinks we should get Mike back here? Mike, we need you. So I've been doing all this with a tripod, which has been pretty good. It's pretty interesting. I'm always like shocked that I could talk to myself for over an hour. Over an hour. Not over an hour. Usually it's under an hour. Usually like 30, 40 minutes lately, depending on the meal prep. But it's amazing that we can cook for the week in that short amount of time. And it's even more amazing that I could talk to myself the entire time. Things you learn about yourself. All right, get those all chopped up. Watch your fingers. All right, that is it. So you have about 6 or so sweet potatoes, and you know what I should do? I just got an air fryer. I should test these out in the air fryer, but honestly, I love my roasting and my sheet pans. Like I'm just kind of stuck in my ways when it comes to my cooking methods. But I will be testing out more in the air fryer soon, I promise. Just need time. So I'm seasoning with some salt. We're going to hit it with some olive oil. Potatoes need a nice amount of oil. Unless you do it in the air fryer, and then maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't have enough experience there. I will let you know though. Okay, and then we're gonna add some more spices. I have paprika, cumin, garlic, and onion powder. And these are just kind of like smoky, spiced sweet potatoes. They're really yummy, and they're gonna go with that sandwich on Monday, that Moroccan sandwich. So it's just a fun little thing to go with your sandwich. And then we're also utilizing the other half of them in those delicious bowls. You guys are going to love those kale bowls. Okay, if you don't love kale, you can completely omit it and replace it with a lettuce that you do like. Or you could turn it into another sandwich, put it in a pita. There are always options. So if you're ever at a point where you're like, I don't like this, what am I doing? This isn't working for me. How could I modify? Again, reach out. Okay? Coming up to boil. Slowly, slowly. And then we have our onion powder. So garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and paprika. You could use smoked paprika or regular. Totally your call. So here's my move. I'm not gonna get my hands dirty right now. I'm gonna take my sheet pan and I'm gonna leave it right here because I'm also going to be roasting this cauliflower at the same time. And why dirty my hands twice by mixing everything and then washing twice when I could just do it all in one shot? This is the way I want you to think. This is the Prep and Rally way, okay? So first up, I want to get my cauliflower in here. Let me grab I like to cover this sheet pan. Hold on. All right. And honestly, I thought about editing these videos and like editing out those times where I'm in and out. But I kind of like that it's real. Can you guys let me know? Like, comment below. Let me know. I sound like Andy and Julie. Comment down below. But really, let me know if you guys like it real and raw, or would you prefer it a little bit more put together and edited. I just love the fact that these videos are real and raw. You see me cooking, getting through this entire meal prep, proving to you that you can do it, and we're gonna do it together. So that's kind of the whole point here. So I like that it's raw and real. You see me going back and forth. You see every part of it. I'm not hiding anything. So I'm getting it done, and whether it's 40 minutes, 50 minutes, you can too, my friends. Today I got cauliflower that's already florited, just because Whole Foods, for some reason, did not have whole cauliflower, but it saves me a ton of time. So if you're in a time crunch, just spend a little bit extra if you would like, and just get pre-cut. But usually what you have to do, even if it is pre-cut, you still need to go in and just make everything a little bit more even to make sure you get everything cooked evenly, okay? My throat is not feeling good today. We were out late last night, had some tequila, and oh my God, but I have to kind of save my voice. I'll be on Home and Family tomorrow, and I'll share links to all these videos. So you guys will be able to catch it all, okay? Great. And also keep a garbage can next to your workstation. It is so helpful. You don't have to run back and forth. So any cauliflower that you see that is a little bit bigger, just try to cut them up a little bit so that they cook kind of evenly. Obviously, the smaller cauliflower, the faster they cook. So if you want things to go a little bit faster, you can always do that. Also, oven temperature wise, whenever I give any kind of temperature, cooking temperatures, it's regular like cook mode, just like bake mode. If you do have the convection setting on your oven, highly recommend playing around with it. Every oven's different, but convection 370 is my jam. I literally will roast every single thing in there, mostly vegetables. I think sometimes like chicken could dry out when you're doing convection because it's circulating heat, so sometimes it could dry out a little bit. But when it comes to vegetables, you want that quick cook on the outside so that it gets nice and golden and crisp on the outside, but you don't want them to be overcooked, but you want that crispiness. So I find that convection roast is like the greatest, and it speeds up the time. It does things so quickly. You could roast things in like a fraction of the time. It's amazing. And that's, I guess, kind of like what the air fryer is, I think. I need to do more research. I have not a second, but I will. Okay, here we go. Cauliflower. All we're gonna do with these, we're gonna season with some salt and olive oil, and then we're gonna add in our leeks. So, let's talk about leeks for a second. So healthy for you. It's an allium, so it's in the onion family, but they're very mild and they're so beautiful. Look at this. That's what a leek looks like if you've never seen one. If you've never used one before, I'm going to show you how you actually clean them and cut them up. So here's what you do. So here's a leek. Sometimes they're even like taller than this. I just cut mine a little bit. You're going to cut off the bottom, okay? And most of this green part, I go to like there or so, okay? And they're very dirty and they're very sandy. So what you do is cut lengthwise, okay? You see what I'm doing? Beautiful. So cut lengthwise right down the center of the leek, okay? And then you end up with two pieces like this. How beautiful are they? Okay, but in between each of these layers is a ton of dirt and a ton of sand. So what you're gonna do is bring them over to your sink and just rinse them underwater, being sure to open up every layer and let that sand get flushed out of there. All right. It doesn't take long. You just got to get in between. And I don't think it's like a buggy thing. I think it's more just dirt. Just a lot of sand. They're very, very sandy. So you want to make sure you do that. Otherwise, your food is not going to taste very, very good. Okay, and then all we're doing, once you have all of your little leeks over here, I just cut them into like, what is that, like a 2-inch, 3-inch piece there, okay? And then just put them all in with your cauliflower. And it just adds, first of all, color, but it adds this amazing onion flavor without it being overwhelming. Plus, it is so healthy for you. I'm posting later today on my Instagram, Prep and Rally, a little kind of bio on leeks and why they're so good for you and why you should incorporate them into your diet. I feel like they're so underused. Like, I feel like nobody really cooks with leeks, but they're such a great item. I'm obsessed with the flavor, and you can even like throw them on your grill in the summertime or use them in place of onions. They're so good. So, so, so good. So now that we have that all massaged and ready for the oven, while my hands are dirty, first of all, lower your pho and cover. Let it simmer for like another 25 minutes or so. It's gonna be so flavorful. It smells so good. Are you guys freaking out over the smell? I'm obsessed. So now you're going to take your potatoes while your hands are already dirty. Instead of doing that twice, do it once. All right, and just toss your potatoes in all that spice and oil. Oh my God, if you guys can get your hands on some Japanese sweet potatoes, they're so delicious. My kiddos love them. Say hi, Pep and Wally. Today I'm eating. They're so cute. Do you guys miss your kids when they're like sleeping or in school? I totally do. And when they're home, I'm like, go away. No, I'm kidding. They're so cute. They're the best. Ooh, the best. Okay. And now that we've banged that all out, now you wash your hands, okay? So we've just saved a couple seconds of your life washing your hands. Lovely. And then you go to your little towel over here. All right, so 425 oven, pop those in. All right. Get those in, and then we're gonna move on to, I think our peppers and onions are next. All right, 425. If you have convection roast, you could do convection roast 370. I'm gonna change mine to that right now. And we'll see if maybe they're done by the time we're done filming this video, because it goes so fast. All right, so, something good. Take a breather, take a sip of wine or a sip of water. I would like some water, actually. Please hold. Okay. I'm going to use Andy and Julia's cup. Hydrate. I should have wine, but it's early, and I had too much tequila last night, so I'm not. Okay, next up, here we go. On to the next one, peppers and onions. So I'm going to move my pho to another burner so I can show you guys what I'm doing. Oh my God, it smells so delicious. Smell that? So good. All right, so we have peppers and onions. We're just gonna saute these. And the peppers and onions, you could do in a para pan if you're a kosher person, because you're gonna be using them in your not frittatas, like little mini muffins, little mini egg bakes, and they're also going to be used in your chicken salad and your chicken sandwich. Okay, so you're using them for both. And that's what we're all about, is just banging things out all in one shot. So here we go. Get your olive oil in your pan. All right, all we're gonna do is just saute these. It'll take about 8 minutes or so. Get your pan nice and hot, and let's chop an onion. So let's go over how to chop an onion, shall we? Why not? We're here, okay? Let's do this together. Knife skills are huge, and that makes you a hero in your kitchen. So take your little onion, okay? Cut off the bottom, cut off the top. You always want to make sure you're working with a chef knife, which just means the size plus this shape, so that you can do that rocking motion, which is important. A nice big knife. Get one knife, that's all you need. One good knife. Keep it sharp. You're less likely to cut yourself on a sharp knife than a dull knife, because you slip all over the place and you can cut yourself that way if it's dull. All I do now is I just cut a little slit right there, stick my knife in it, or sometimes my fingers, usually a knife, and take off that first outer layer, like ogres. Isn't that the whole thing from Shrek? Like ogres are like onions or something with layers. I'm making that up. Okay, here we go. We have our onion now peeled successfully with a garbage can next to you, so you could just throw things out easily. And then where I have that line started already, I usually go into that same line and just cut it in half. And behold, you have 2 onions. And now, let's see, you want it to be thinly sliced. You could slice it this way, so you have these like half circles. I prefer, whenever I'm slicing onions, especially for like Asian things, sautés, I like doing it up and down, so through the root. Okay, so instead of going this way, So you get these little half moons, turn it this way. I like how it looks a lot more. So give that a shot. Let me know if you like that. And then do that rocking motion so you can get through your onions, okay? Woo, hot oil. All right, get them in there. All right, let's do that again. So, want to hold your hand kind of like this. This part of the knife should be resting on this part of your knuckle. That's your guide, okay? These fingertips are always in, like you're holding a ball, like if you're playing piano, they're in there, okay? So that they're never getting chopped off. So keep your fingertips in. It takes a while to get this technique and to feel comfortable doing it. I remember my dad yelling at me, your knife feels right. It took me a while to get the hang of it, but once you get it, it just becomes so natural and you will enjoy cutting in the kitchen. Like, I love it. And look at these like perfect slices you get, okay? So pop those into your pan. I could chop and dice all day. Like, I'm actually obsessed with cutting. It's kind of therapeutic to me. It's weird. Same with butchering. I don't know why. It's creepy, I know, but it's fun. I like it. Okay, hold on, I have to sneeze. No, I don't. Okay. All right, so keep those mixing around. You don't want to work on too high of the heat, but you want to make sure there's some heat under there. So work like a medium-high heat. Season with some salt to help bring out that moisture. Get those mixed around. How are we all doing? Are we good? Are we good? Beautiful. Make sure you're subscribed here to my channel, and that way you'll know every single time there's a new video uploaded. Be sure to subscribe, share with your friends, look through all my videos. Lots of good old things here that you could find, like funny old videos. So check those out. My goodness, I started my YouTube channel a long time ago, so there's like a lot of really good old goodies hidden. You just search all the way back, all right? So we're cutting up our 3 peppers, and you could use red, green, yellow, any color you want, orange. Throw those in there with your onions at the same time. All right, you want a nice big pan here. I should have used a bigger one. I used like a medium-sized pan. Go as big as you can. Yes, the peppers will shrink down a lot, so don't worry about it. Okay, let's go over how to cut that pepper so that you can see what I did. This is how I always cut peppers, and it's the best technique ever. Put your knife in through the side, and all you're gonna do is run your knife around in a circle, cutting around all those seeds so that you leave that out, and you're left with this. Okay, it's also a great way for like grilling season. If you just grill big pieces of pepper like this, really, really great way to grill, okay? And then just run your knife through it so that you have these little strips. And if you guys saw my Instagram stories last week, I think it was last week, where I repurposed that skirt steak with some like sauteed onions, sauteed peppers, kind of made this like Asian-y beef, like fajita kind of dinner. These are great things to do with any leftovers. You could always saute vegetables and turn it either like Mexican or Asian, make it fun. Add some spices. Don't be afraid to just kind of play around, figure out what you like, what your preference is, and make things for you. So that's what I hope to kind of give you guys, is that confidence in the kitchen to be able to just kind of mess around, because that is why I love cooking so much. It is so creative to me, and it's fun. There are no restrictions, there's no limits. Baking, I don't feel the same way about. I hate baking, but even with baking, there is some flexibility, and I'm demonstrating that tomorrow. I'll be making these crazy kitchen sink cookies on Home and Family, and it's all about like using little bits of leftovers that you have in your fridge and pantry to make the most amazing cookies. So not needing to run out to the grocery store if you don't have macadamia nuts or if you don't have pine nuts, but like using a little bit of leftover miso paste that I had for meal prep, using a little bit of soy sauce, like kind of crazy things, but it's actually unreal. There's some pine nuts in there. I really used everything that I had in my pantry that day. That's what inspired the recipe. But I wanted to show you guys, like, build that confidence in the kitchen, and that comes with time and practice, and that's why we're doing this every single week, because I want to get you there. So fun, okay? You will love it, I promise you. If you're like, what is she talking about? Cooking is the worst thing ever. You'll change your opinion, I promise you. But it's really fun. Once you like get out of those recipes, and I know I put out recipes every week, but I never want you to follow them too much or too well, or I can't even talk anymore. But basically, have fun with it, okay? If you don't have a certain ingredient, swap it out. If you need some assistance, reach out. I can always give you some inspiration and help you figure out how you can make it your own and make it work with what you already have at home. All right, while this is softening, we are going to make our tahini-lime sauce. So I have a little bowl here, and we're making, hold on, clear up your board if needed. Okay, make sure you're kind of moving these around every so often so that everything really cooks nicely. You could just season that with salt, pepper, oil, and you're good. All right, I have a little bowl, or you could take like a mason jar or something. We have our tahini, or tahina, however you pronounce it. I want tahini to be such a funny word. Okay, this one actually is like a weird one. It's raw tahini. I would recommend just getting regular. So this is like very thick. Maybe it wasn't mixed initially. I don't know. It's weird. It's very thick though. Don't recommend it, but we'll use a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna put some of that in here, and that'll break down. Once we mix everything into it, even if yours is also very thick, you always add either lime or lemon or water to loosen your tahina, because tahina is like a weird thing. And like 1 second it's thick, and the next second it's not anymore. It has like, it's very, very bizarre. If you let it sit for a little bit, it thickens even more on you. So always know you can always loosen any kind of tahina or tahina-based sauce or dressing with either some water, or if you think you could use some acid, either lemon or lime, okay? Or you can even do like a vinegar if you're making like a dressing. All right, so we have our tahina in here. Mine's like little blobs of tahina, but that's fine. We are going to add our limes and maple and water, like so simple and easy. This is from my sister's tree. Thank you, Gilly. The girls picked it actually, and they happen to be the most delicious, juicy limes ever. Look at this tiny little lime. Has so much juice in it and so many seeds. It's crazy. Oh my God, it smells so good. All right, so get your limes in there, and every lime obviously has such a different amount of juice in it, so you can always taste this and adjust accordingly. That's really what I want you guys to do. All right. We are building that confidence and that knowledge in the kitchen. You guys are going to know how to do everything by the time I'm done with ya. Okay, here we go. Squeeze. See, this one's like just a much harder lime. Also, if you let them sit out rather than take them straight out from the fridge, they're a little bit softer, or there's like a trick, you could put them in the microwave to soften them even more and get the juices flowing. You could also roll them before you squeeze them so that you could help the juice come out even more. Give your hands a little rinsey poo. And we're moving on. All right, give these a little mix. So your peppers should be starting to break down and soften. And this is so good in those chicken sandwiches, guys. So, so, so good. Okay. I never used to like peppers growing up, but like I've come to like them lately. It's weird. All right, lime juice, maple syrup, and then we're just gonna season it with some salt. You can add some pepper, and if you wanted to do some olive oil, I just loosen it with a little bit of water. You could do olive oil, but like there's already a lot of oil in there from the, I put some water in there. There's already oil in there from the tahina. I don't think it needs any more, but make it your own as usual. I just did some pepper. And I'm starting with a spoon just to kind of like break down the tahina a little bit, because the tahina is just going to get all stuck in my whisk if I start doing that right now. So just like, depending on what kind of tahina you're using, give it a mix around. Okay, and now at this point you could take a whisk or a fork and just kind of bang it out. Try not to get yourself dirty. Okay, and this is a salad dressing for, this is really weird. It's a dressing for your bowls on Wednesday, and it's also going to double for a sauce on Monday with your chicken sandwiches, okay? And I love adding some sriracha to it for the sauce. Kind of makes this like spicy, yet like acidic kind of sauce. It's really good. Okay, I'm gonna add more tahina. I didn't measure, and I thought tahina would just make things like super thick because it's a weird tahina. If you're not using sesames, if you're trying to find a substitution for sesame, you don't need to use tahina. You could even use like an almond butter, or you could even make a peanut butter, kind of like a satay. That can be delicious here as well. So just know there are always options depending on your diet and allergies, whatever it may be, there are always options, like always, 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 always. Very rarely has there been a case where I'm like, sorry, you can't make that recipe. Okay? I think dairy is like the trickiest because there aren't like the greatest substitutions for dairy, I find. But everything else is really easy. Okay, beautiful. Whisk that all up and, oh, that's so good. Okay, beautiful. Store it in the fridge. If it thickens up even more while it's in the fridge, you can always, again, add some water or lime juice or even lemon, okay? So give this a little mix around. Beautiful, okay. Keep moving those around. We're gonna work on our last recipe, which is, oh, turn your pho off. Oh my God, yum, it smells heaven. Okay, hang on. Just show you. I'm going to take out my chicken breast, which should be perfectly cooked after about 30 minutes. See that? Poaching chicken. Like it's like an old school way of cooking, but honestly, it's the best way of cooking because it keeps that moisture in. A lot of times chicken breast especially tends to dry out. This is a great way to infuse it with flavor and also just to cook chicken very quickly. So if you like need some food for lunches, whatever it may be, poach it in like a really nice broth and you have a really great easy chicken that you can either serve shredded or cubed in a salad. It's just a great technique to kind of have in your back pocket. Here in this case, we're gonna let that cool a little bit, shred it and put it back in, okay? It smells so good. Lovely, okay, a few more minutes here. I should have used a bigger pan with a little bit more surface area, but it's cool, we're just flipping. Flippy-doo. Okay, lastly, we are going to, we're going to make our Moroccan spiced chicken. So all we're doing today is just marinating it. So easy, okay? So move all of your finished foods away so don't contaminate anything. I have my chicken breast in a bag already. I'm also doing a little bit less than the recipe, but 6 is what I recommended here for the week. So just follow along with your PDF, and all we're gonna do is just add all the ingredients to our bag, and we're gonna just marinate it overnight, and then you can cook them fresh the next day, okay? And this is going to lock in all that amazing, amazing flavor. You could obviously just let it sit for like 30 minutes in the marinade and then cook it right now. But if you can, highly recommend letting it marinate and then just cook it fresh tomorrow. You can either broil it or grill it. Really good grilled. Okay, and I give you all the directions to do that in the PDF. Okay, a few more minutes here. We're so close. Okay, how are we at time-wise? Guys, it's been 39 minutes. Stinking awesome. Is that crazy that we literally cooked for the week? An hour, under an hour. Okay, 40 minutes so far. We're not even at the hour mark. Okay, light coconut milk. Using light here because you just want that flavor and some of the like the fat that's inside the coconut milk is just gonna make this so good. I'm using a whole cinnamon stick. You could use ground if you want. I'm also just taking that same ginger and I'm just gonna crush it again. You just wanna like bruise it a little bit. You could mince it if you want as well, but I'm just gonna cut it into like 2 pieces and throw it in there. It's gonna perfume the whole thing. Makes it really easy, and that way, and you're just throwing away the marinade anyway, so you are good. Okay, garlic cloves. Here they are, okay. You could either mince it or you can just, what I would do is just smash them. I'm taking it out of the shell this time, just to make sure that we don't actually eat any of the peels, okay. So I smashed them, throw them in your bag, okay. Doesn't get easier. There's also a great thing to do if you're like prepping for a dinner party or a Shabbat meal or something. You can make this any day of the week, throw it in the freezer, even let it marinate while it's in the freezer. And then the day of, take it out and grill it. And you have perfectly fresh, amazing food in no time, okay? I'm using I'm gonna do a little garlic powder, because I'm in the mood. And we're gonna do onion powder, cumin, and these are these Moroccan spice chicken breasts. Such good flavors here, it's crazy. And the coconut milk is really what's gonna keep it super moist. And then if you're grilling it or if you are searing it, that's what really locks in all the flavors. Getting that nice crispy crust with a quick hot sear or grill, and then finishing it in the oven. That is the move. That's what restaurant chefs do. That's how you avoid a dry chicken breast. So it's another great technique for you guys to always kind of utilize, okay? I'm going to shut my peppers off because we're going to be reheating them the night of, so you don't want to kill them, okay? That's another great thing to remember is like, don't kill your vegetables when you're making them the first time because you're going to be reheating them. So allow for that extra reheat. So just, you always want to leave some bite to it. No, don't get out of your turmeric. You're going to stain everything. Okay. Turmeric just went in there. I don't know which top goes to which. Paprika, and that's it. We did the ginger. We did the garlic. This is the paprika. Opening this up. Perfect. I seasoned it with some salt. That is that. Hold on. This on here. This on. Where does everything go? Okay. Beautiful. Last thing, we're just going to juice 1 lemon, which I forgot to take out actually. Let me go grab it. Hang on. Also check your cauliflower and your sweet potatoes. Looking so good. My cauliflower is almost ready. Hold on, where are my lemons? Got them. Okay, sorry. Looking for my lemons. Okay. So grab yourself a lemon, and you're gonna juice 1 lemon. And if you're wondering if the acid is going to like cook the chicken overnight, it will not. If you are just storing this in acid and just storing this in the lemon, yes, it would likely do that. But because you have other ingredients in here, you have the coconut milk, it's diluted a lot, so you are good, no need to worry there. All right, so 1 lemon. If you want to zest the lemon also, that could be really nice too. Okay. The zest is always just like an added bonus of like flavor punch. All right, give your hands a rinse. That's it. My cauliflower is coming out in like 5 minutes. I think the sweet potatoes should take another like 10 maybe. Meanwhile, we're gonna just seal this up, okay? Try to get as much air as possible. If you wanted to eat these tomorrow night, so like the next night, just keep it in the fridge and let it just marinate overnight. Otherwise, you could pop it in the freezer and then just thaw it and cook whenever you like, okay? So good. Make sure you get that nice and mixed around. That is gonna be the best chicken ever. You guys are gonna use this recipe over and over and over again. We have the chicken. This chicken we are going to shred. I'll do this with you quickly, and then we're gonna be done. I have the peppers I'm gonna store in a container. I'm going to strain my pho, which is smelling amazing. I have this awesome sauce, and it's getting thicker with that tahina, which is so crazy it does that. But I'll show you real quick what we do with this chicken. You could cut it into cubes if you prefer cubes. Otherwise, just take your chicken breasts. I just did one today. And you're gonna just pull it. So I like when it looks kind of shredded, okay? See that? And you could do it with two forks. You could do it by hand once it's cool. Totally up to you. Okay, just try not to overcook that chicken too much. Okay, so once it's shredded, just leave it off to the side until you strain your pho. Don't forget to strain it, okay? Because there's seeds in there and you don't want to eat those things. They're just there to flavor it. So take your sieve or anything that you have, okay? And then all you're gonna do, either you could pour it into a storage container or another pot over the strainer, or just take your strainer. I'm gonna use a smaller one actually. I happen to have a smaller one, which is easier. You literally just go in here and you fish out all those little goodies, okay? So easy, look at that. And you avoid needing to strain into multiple containers and dirty more. So just take your little strainer and just go fishing in there and pull out all those peppercorns, all the seeds, all the spices. Oh my God, that smells heaven. Okay, you guys are going to love this meal prep. I hope you're obsessed with it. Let me know what you think, okay? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this horizontal video, and have an amazing week, okay? Crush this week, enjoy it, enjoy all these amazing flavors, and be sure to share everything on Instagram at Prep and Rally. I will repost your stuff. I'm obsessed with seeing it all. Love you guys. Have an amazing week, okay?